LinkedIn post recently named 5.5 things I learned while building my business with AI that I wish I would have known in month 1. And some folks it resonated with, and they found it somewhat useful. And I thought to myself, LinkedIn posts, the carousels, they're just little short blurbs of information. So why not on the channel here, go into a little bit more in depth today into what those 5.5 things are that I've learned along the way. Now, I'm by no means the master be-all knower of everything as far as building your business and your life with AI. Doing is learning, and so I thought I'd share that today with you. If you're interested in sort of real-world things like this, leveraging AI to build your business, to make your personal life better, make sure you mash the subscribe button below, and you can watch some other videos, including my AI versus DIY series, where we go into deciding, do we use pre-canned tools or learn to build things with some of the large language models and that type of thing online? So let's go into it. Number 1 is AI isn't replacing you. What AI is replacing is the mundane and generic things. So not the things that make you, if that makes sense. If your biggest concern is the things that I do can be replaced by AI easily, then I think the first thing you need to do is take a step back and figure out, even without AI, what you need to do is in life in general, take a step back and define, what is it about me? What are the things about me that give me an unfair advantage in the marketplace? So the things that I can do that nobody else can do. And I know you're thinking, well, everybody can do everything. Somebody, if they try hard enough. There's certain things that are unique to your personality and who you are that you're just going to be better at and that you can do. It's not a competition. It's not a learned thing. It's just a way that your pieces fit together. And so figuring that out first, I think will help you out in understanding then what is it that AI can replace that I'm currently doing that I want it to replace for me. Number 2, chasing every new tool. That was a lot of fun. I played with a lot of things. In a sense, it's actually helped me with the channel a little bit in that now I have a bigger breadth of information about a lot of the tools that are out there. And so I know some of the things that work and don't work for me, for some of my clients, that type of thing. But if you're not planning on starting a consulting business in AI and you're not building a YouTube channel or a podcast or writing blog posts about it, if you're just trying to use AI in your life, in your business, then chasing every new tool is going to be a time waster in a sense. What I recommend, just like number 1, let's take a step back. Think about it for a minute. AI is a tool. It is a tool. It is not an answer. So be strategic. Think about what it is in your business that you're doing and figure out what is strategic in your business, in your life, and figure out what's transactional in your business and your life. From there, you can sort of rank in importance the things that are strategic and transactional. And obviously, when it comes to AI, lending itself probably to the transactional first is a good first step for you. So seeing that list of things that are transactional, now I can go back and find tools that fix that for me, that take that off my plate, as opposed to playing with every tool that's out there and then saying, oh, this would be a great thing to use for this. It would. And 4 hours of surfing on the internet later, you've got that answer. But if you actually have a list of things ahead of time, then you can sort of work your way backwards and find the right tools. And I will say this too, for everything that you want to do, that you want to automate or to take away the transaction with AI tools that you have out there, there's going to be like 15 options, probably more than that. But people keep telling me I'm overusing the word plethora, so I won't say plethora of options. But there's a lot of options out there. It's going to take a lot of time to go through and figure out which are the ones that do the things you want them to do. If you haven't figured out first, what are the things that you want them to do? So knowing ahead of time what it is you want to do, whether it's transactional or strategic, working back to that and finding the tool that fits the bill for that. And like I said, I'd probably start with transactional and then work my way into the strategic. And there are some really good tools out there for doing the strategic piece too, but I'd give the other one a shot first, get comfy with that, and then work my way into some of the more strategic things. Not to mention, you're going to find wins, bigger wins quicker. And so that's going to allow you to sort of feed the the fire for your AI journey. So number 3, the best AI prompts aren't prompts at all. You'll hear me say this over and over again. Prompts are really important. Telling the AI tool what you want to do is really important. Quality prompts do 2 things. They tell the tool what you want to do, and they make you think about ahead of time what you want the tool to do. That said, it's not just about the prompt itself, it's the iteration on the prompts. And iteration, and doing this with my fingers like this, is just a fancy way of saying have a conversation. So chat GPT, it's about the chat. Claude, any of the large language models, Grok, they're all about the chat. It's a conversation back and forth. If all you do is ask ChatGPT to do something, you answer a question, build something, write something, whatever it is, and then you get done and you say, yeah, that's sort of what I wanted. Maybe not, I don't know. And you move on, you're sort of lost on that front there. If you go into it with a conversation and you start off with the best prompt you can, not because you want the final answer the first time, but because you've thought through what it is you're trying to do, and then realize that's not the be all end all. I'm going to get a response back and I'm going to have a conversation, and I'm going to read the response and I'm going to think. Yes, people still have to think when it comes to AI. Maybe people have to start thinking, especially when it comes to AI. But what's going to do for you is allow you to have a back and forth. You're going to read, you're going to use your knowledge of the information. You're going to use what you know about the topics, and you're going to take the response from the AI tool. And I can't tell you how many times this is for me. The response I've gotten back sparked something in me that I'm like, oh, that totally just made me think of something. Let's go down that rabbit hole. And we talk about it. It's like having a conversation with a consultant. It's like having a conversation with a coach or somebody that you trust to have the conversation with. But you can start and stop the conversation, park it. They have a lot of information out there that maybe some other people don't. And it doesn't have to be the final answer, but having those conversations, building it into a conversation as opposed to just a one-off prompt, gives you back more information than you can imagine and allows you to think more about the topic itself too, and actions that you're going to come up with. And number 4, look at that. I got all 4, I got the right number of fingers there. The 80-20 rule hits different with AI. It's the little repeatable things that create the biggest wins. Mistake I made when I got started, and mistake I think a lot of people make when they get started, they want to look for the big thing. Like, what's the biggest thing I do that takes the most amount of time and the most thinking? And let's build an automation around it so that I don't do it anymore, and make it just as good as if I were doing it myself with all the years of knowledge I have, all of the uniqueness that I have in me. Let's build an automation that does that for me. Okay, so now 7 months down the road, you still haven't built that automation and you really haven't gotten traction with using AI, and you come back and say AI is too complex. That's the journey I went down to a certain extent. I fail a lot quicker, so maybe it took me about 3 weeks to say, this is not working, I'm failing, what's wrong with me? I need to find something else. And in that path, what I did realize though, is find the little tasks that I can, like that, use AI to repeat and get them off my plate, number 1. And number 2, and not everybody talks about this because artificial intelligence is a computer tool. It doesn't have emotions, that type of thing. But you know what? You and I do. And if we have those little repeatable tasks that suck the life out of us, those little things that we know we have to do today, but we hate doing them. So instead of doing them first thing in the morning, we do them at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. We're aggravated and cranky, and it used a bunch of emotional energy. So now we're wiped for the rest of the day and can't do any of the sort of big rock things for the rest of the day. That type of thing. Let AI do it. Not just take it. If you look at it and say, you know what, this only takes me 10 minutes, not worth it to train AI how to do it for me. If it's doing all those things I just talked about and sucking the life out of you, and yeah, there's a little hyperbole, but it's not totally out of there. Trust me, if you think about something you hate doing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you were to stop and look at those things and say, if that was off my plate and I never had to do it again, how would that change for me? What would that be? What would be different? I'd have more energy. I'd have a better attitude. I wouldn't be taking up mental energy throughout the day thinking of reasons I should push it off later in the day. One thing, not AI related, that I've learned from Ed Milet, really important. When it comes to confidence in life, confidence comes from doing the things we say we're going to do for ourselves. And lack of confidence, the inverse of that, is knowing the things we need to do and saying we're going to do them and not doing them. That erodes our confidence. If we take that piece away, we can do the things that we know we're going to do and build our confidence to do the next thing with even more excellence. Not AI, but it can help and make a difference in your life that way. Number 5, your unique voice matters now more than ever. I had done a podcast a while back when it was on freelancing and talking a little bit about AI and what AI can replace. If we go back to number 1 here, AI isn't replacing you. The thought and the mindset of AI does things and makes things that are not unique to you get done quicker. At the same time, what that does is it frees up our time to be us. That frees up our time to work on that unique, unfair advantage. As a person, as a business, whatever that is, it frees up that time to do that, which means your unique voice, realizing who you are, the message you have, how as a company you're different, what you do better than other companies, what you maybe just do different to resonate with your target market. Having that free time to do that, that matters. A quick story here. Years ago, I used to do a podcast on real estate investing. It was in the top 5 on iTunes for about 5-6 years, something like that. And so we had a great audience. I don't say that to boast. I just say it was a large audience. A lot of people listened. So of course, people are going to listen for different reasons when you get enough people listening. And I remember I used to get on a regular basis emails from folks this was back before you commented on YouTube videos below. You actually had to email the people to tell them about it. We actually had a voicemail line set up at one time where people could leave comments and ask questions. Yeah, I'm that old. But where people would send emails and say, you know what? I'm not overly interested in real estate investing, but I like hearing the stuff you talk about. I like your sense of humor. I like the way you deliver, whatever it is. I think I like the way you're authentic, whatever that thing is that they would say. And they would listen for that. And I always thought that was humorous, but it drives us back to the point. It's the taking the things off your plate doesn't just free up your time to do more transactional things. It frees up your time to use your unique voice. And the more you can free up your time in the age of AI, the more you can focus and hone in on that unique voice to resonate with your people, to help move the needle in the things that you do. So the post was 5.5 things. And the half, I guess, thing that goes along with that is right back to number 1 and number 5 here, and sort of what's going throughout the entire time. It's not about doing more things. That was the first mistake I made. Is I learned very quickly how to make some really good blog posts with AI. And again, not boasting that, I lifted it from other people and took different things different people did and just stuck it all together. I didn't come up with it on my own, but it ended up making some pretty good blog posts that people had no idea it was AI. But more importantly, whether it was AI or not, help people learn about the things they were reading about and take some steps to make a difference in their business because of it. So to me, that's the whole point, right? To create content to help other people out, to help them learn, to grow and empower them to do those things. But I did that early on, and I very quickly said, you know what? AI is all about doing more things. And so I was, 32 posts a week or something like that I was doing. And they weren't bad posts, but they weren't great posts. And they did still take me time. I still had to do keyword research and other things. And what I realized after doing all that was they didn't really move the needle. They weren't the things in my business that I needed to do to move my business ahead. Brendan Bouchard always talks about what are the things you need to do to move the needle. First, figure out what it is that moves the needle in your business, then what are those things you need to do? And I made the mistake of using AI to do more of the things that didn't move the needle just because it could do more. And so that's my sort of half thing that I've learned in growing my business with AI is don't just do more because you can. Shrink the time it takes to do the things that don't move the needle so you can find the time to do the things that do move the needle. Thanks for listening and watching today. If you like this information, make sure you mash the subscribe button below. Most of my videos are not pontificating like this. Most of them are hands-on, how to use tools and how to do things. So make sure you check out the rest of the channel, including the playlist with our series AI versus DIY, where we look at things like saying, there's a blog writing tool that I can go and purchase and use, and here's what it does. And then I'll go through step by step what it does and compare it to, let's just say we go out to ChatGPT and write some decent prompts, have some, going back to, was it number 3 here, have some conversations and figuring out just how those work together. Do I need the paid one? Does it make my life better? There's a free one doing it for me today. And that's the AI versus DIY series. There's a playlist here on the channel for that. Want more information about running your business with AI and maybe learning from some of the mistakes I've made along the way? You can head on over to Cool Word Consulting. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it, is cool. coolwordconsulting.com or Business AI Insights. That's my blog site. And you can read more there. Until next time, I hope you take these to heart. I hope it helps you not make some of the mistakes that I made early on and allow you to accelerate your AI journey even faster.